What if you could borrow money, earn interest, and make investments without a bank account, without paperwork, and without any approval from anyone? Does that sound insane? That's exactly what's already happening in the world of decentralized finance, or DeFi, which is what we'll refer to it throughout the course of this video. But how does DeFi even work? And can you trust the system when no one is in charge? And is this the future of finance, or just a total train wreck that is waiting to happen? Let's dive into how DeFi works, the massive opportunities, and also the risks no one talks about, so you can decide for yourself. So decentralized finance is a new type of financial system built on blockchains, mostly Ethereum. Instead of banks, you've got protocols, and instead of bankers, you've got code. So you interact through smart contracts, which are basically little pieces of code that say, if this happens, then you do that. So there's no banker, there's no managers, just pure logic, basically. But wait.
If no one's running the system, how do you know it will work?
Because the contracts are open source, which means that anyone can check the code. So they're usually audited, and once they're deployed, so once they're in motion, no one can secretly change the rules. What can you actually do with DeFi today? Let's break it down, because it's much more utilized than you might even realize. So if you want to earn 5 to 10% interest on your crypto, for example, you can lend it on platforms like Aave. I might be mispronouncing this. If you want to swap tokens instantly, you can use a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, for example. And if you want to borrow against your crypto without selling it, there's a protocol for that too. So some people are even building synthetic stocks, which are basically crypto tokens that track the price of things like Tesla or gold or Apple or whatever. And always there's no middleman, no paperwork, no KYCs, just your wallet and a few clicks. It's 24/7, global, and really borderless, and you don't have to ask permission to anyone. You don't have to go through credit score checks, etc. And for people who have been locked out of the banking system, that's really game changing. If you think about emerging economies, markets with low penetration from normal financial institutions. And of course, the question that we're still asking ourselves is, if no one is in charge, what happens when something goes wrong? That's the first thing when it comes to financial systems. Let's not sugarcoat it. DeFi has real risks for sure. So smart contracts can have bugs, and hackers love bugs, of course. Recently, there was the Coinbase hack post IPO. We've all seen how that went. Because the systems are decentralized, there's no refund button, there's no regulator, there's no FCA, there's no phone number to call. If you make a mistake or you get rugged, that's it. And speaking of these rug pulls, some DeFi projects are run by anonymous devs with zero accountability. So they launch a flashy token, get people excited, and then disappear overnight with the money. So yes, DeFi gives you control, but it also puts responsibility on you for sure. No one's coming to save you. You need to do your own research, double check smart contracts, and really understand the platform before putting in your money.
So if it's risky, why are so many people still pouring, millions and billions even into the space?
Because for many, the upside is too big to ignore. There's countries like Argentina or Nigeria where inflation is crashing and banks are unstable. DeFi is more reliable than the local currency. And even in Europe or the US, people want alternatives. They want higher yields, they want more control, full transparency, and the ability to move funds instantly without waiting for business hours. So DeFi is like the early internet, a little messy, sketchy, but with massive potential once the infrastructure matures. So all in all, once we, now we have a better picture, although of course it's a much broader topic, so definitely do your own research. Where does this leave you? Should you actually use DeFi, or, do you wait it out and until it's a little bit more regulated? Here's my take. DeFi is exciting and also very empowering, and I'm really excited, especially about the opportunities that it will grant to people that would normally not have those opportunities, but is not beginner friendly. So I'm personally, experimenting with it with small amounts and that I can afford to lose. And we talked about it in my previous video on crypto. But I'm thinking about it as more like testing out early stage tech in a way. The best thing that you can do right now, I think, is learning, setting up a test wallet, try a lending platform with just, a small amount that you can afford to lose, watch how it works and see how you react to it as well. and then grow from there. And one thing for me is I will do a video on setting up a cold wallet, a Trezor wallet, basically a physical wallet for my crypto, because that's one of the things I've learned is trust no one, especially if you're serious about crypto, if you're serious about decentralized finance at large, then you need to take your own precautions, because again, there's no customer service that you can just call and ask a refund for. So let me know what you think. I think regardless, DeFi is shaping the future of finance, and I'd rather understand it now rather than be surprised by it. So really, keen to understand how you guys see DeFi. Have you tried it? What's holding you back if not? And let me know how you get on. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.